I'll show you.
Show me your
You gotta
goblins
see my
right
goblins,
now.
man. Hold up. How do I?
All right,
send them on
you
Zoom?
pull up your goblins while I say hello to everyone. Welcome to the A to Z podcast.
A to Z. Oh, I remember we always wanted to do this.
I thought, we might as well use the old names. Might as well use the old names since it's finally coming around. So this is a current events and politics podcast run by artists Ahmed and Steven Zapata. No,
Thank you.
This isn't anything. That's what this is, and this will be the only episode. So great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Cool. A to Z. One episode.
That's it. One episode of A to Z, legendary, complete. Who did you send it to instead of me?
The other Steve.
Look, hold that. I'm watching my in-laws' dog right now.
Yeah.
Getting into her bag, like her go bag, and stealing her food. She's swiping her own. Yeah, she's swiping her own food right now. I gotta get her.
Yeah, it's fine.
Entertain them.
Oh, well, you're gonna edit this, aren't you? I don't know if he's gonna edit this. If he doesn't, that'd be kind of cool too. We just leave it raw, like a proper podcast. But yeah, Steven Zapata, he's the man. I sent some goblins to your Discord. There's way more than that, but like,
to my
I've been
Discord.
drawing goblins all week, and for you to mention, all we want to do is draw goblins.
Okay, so this is a good way to segue into why we're making the one and only episode of the greatest podcast anyone has ever seen.
Yeah.
Things have been a little bit dark around the art community lately. It's been getting very serious, and sometimes you just need to keep it a little bit lighter and remember that we're all just trying to draw goblins. So that's what I said to Med, and surprise, surprise, he's been drawing goblins all week. And these are very good goblins. Can I show these on the? Can I do a screen share and show them? Hold on a second.
When you record this, how does Zoom record the?
It just kind of goes. The way I look at it, it will record it that way. So now it's like our heads two up, and when I do a screen share, it'll show the screen. Because
you're full screened for me.
I'm the host, so it does whatever I'm seeing. Okay. Usually, I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Are we equal in size?
Yeah, it's not going to be a great video experience, but I don't really care. I'm trying to keep this low pressure. I just want to focus on talking to my friend rather than having a super slick production value. Stop being concerned. You let me be concerned about that, and the level of concern is going to be zero.
Facts. It's all you. I'm just going to kick back and.
That's right, Matt. You just let me manage the whole flow of the episode, the amount of attention. So here we go. We got nice goblins from Med. You see this? So this to me, this is a good omen. This shows that this is what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah. That we are supposed to be doing the A to Z podcast. That we are supposed to be talking about drawing and being happy about it. And yeah, goblins. I mean, we all just want to draw goblins. Really
it's like beauty is cool and all, but look at their faces, man.
I'm so glad you grew up. I'm so glad you finally grew up.
I'm going to take that as disrespect, but thank you.
Now you're going to go back to drawing nothing but girls, just to spite me.
Yeah. No, I this is actually part of a video. I recorded a whole how to draw goblins. I did the whole skeleton and everything.
Is that a joke? Are you being serious?
No, I'm being serious. And,
okay, good.
In preparation for my next course, which is for fantasy illustration, but I figured I gotta learn these characters.
Fantasy illustration with Ahmed Al-Douri.
Ever heard of? Oh, no, yeah.
No, please. I've
ruined your monologue.
No, that's fine. Just who cares?
No, why are we like this?
Yeah, blame Zoom. It makes it impossible to not step all over each other, and that's fine. We just have to accept that.
Ever heard of Magic Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons? You like those things?
No, I've never heard of them. No. I've seen dragons and I've seen dungeons, but I've never actually seen them combined in any serious capacity.
Incredible.
They're beautiful. That's
what the next course is going to be about. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, try to not bring up business on this podcast. All right. Because on this podcast, we are allergic to all things business related. All right. Your business, my business. We got to get that stuff out of our heads. Just have fun. Fun is compulsory. All right?
How compulsory are we talking?
Completely compulsory. You're forced into doing it. All right, now we're talking.
Card at the top.
Now, stop.
That's what you are.
Stop now.
This is you.
Okay.
You are this card.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I hope it's a swamp. Oh, No, you're a beautiful plane.
Aw, that does look like me.
This is the background image for the Magic the Gathering game.
I've never
PC.
played I've never played a game of Magic. I
I
actually
played
don't.
it for the first time this week.
Oh, really? I've never. I don't actually understand anything about the mechanics or anything like that.
It's complicated at first, and it still is complicated to me. You got to tap a card. You got to put a token for tokens. You got to use instants when you. It's confusing at first, but I think after a couple rounds, you're like, okay, I get it.
Got it. Speaking of confusing at first, a lot of people's sexual impulses are confusing, and I think that segues me naturally into something that I wanted to talk about in our design news section, which you of course knew about, which is that one of the main things we do on this podcast is that, we're both designers, so we like to look at what's going on in design news and discuss it and maybe give a little bit of an analysis, right? I mean, this is Ahmed's idea, not mine, so I don't know. But we like to look at these things in the news, see how design is relevant, how art is coming up in the world, and we break it down. And we hope that the audience will learn a little bit about art while we do that. So I think it's pretty obvious what the first thing is going to be, just because it's so relevant, right? I mean, this is what people have been talking about in art, it's what's bringing it out into the news in general. It's not just artists thinking about this stuff now, but there's stories about this stuff in the New York Times, in Forbes. And we all feel different ways about it, right? But it would be irresponsible of us not to talk about it. So
What are you talking about?
Let's just talk about it. Let's talk about Heidi Klum's worm costume for Halloween. So, as we all know...
What the hell is that? This is a joke, right?
As we all know, Heidi Klum does an incredible Halloween costume every year when she goes to her big, rich, fancy...
I didn't know that.
And this was her costume for this year.
Dude, it looks like bacon, like wrapped.
Okay, so see, there's our first critique, right? So that's Ahmed's critique. Now, Med,
This isn't a joke. This is for real her. That's Heidi Klum in there?
Well, I mean, you can ask yourself as much as you want if it's a joke. But yes, that is Heidi Klum in there, which I think should be obvious because that is what her body is shaped like. They just painted her skin. So, I mean, Heidi Klum is known for her perfectly cylindrical, unvariegated cross-section.
Dude,
and they just kind of took some paintbrushes in there and did it. All right, so I'm going to...
Catwoman one? I like the reflections on that one.
Where? I don't see it.
You don't see the Catwoman one? No, dude. How do you not? It's right there.
I don't... My eye goes to worms.
Okay. All right.
Is it...
Disappointment.
Oh, this one. No, but that's not Heidi Klum. Who's that? Is that Ariana Grande?
I don't know.
Oh, no,
The
that's
leather
her.
looks cool.
C model as Worm, her daughter Lenny. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna let you get your feelings in, but real quick, I just want to say how I feel about this.
How long have you been wanting to talk about this? Since Halloween, I'm guessing.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can do math. I can count days.
This is the most important. All right, so okay, first off, it's one thing to be the worm. But to be the worm, on the hook with I'm guessing that's her partner.
Oh my God.
He's the fisherman, right? He's the guy who caught the worm.
Dude, no way.
And then she kind of squirms around on the ground.
How does she move? What?
I think there's like these little you see these little weird things over here on the right. I think those are like feet pads, yeah, for her to walk. So it's one thing to be the worm, but to have the fisherman costume as the part 2, and for her to be a worm on a line, that's next level. That's pretty good. The other thing is, like I alluded to before we started discussing this, is that this is raw pornography right here. Okay. I mean, it's pretty rare to encounter your fetish out in the wild. But it happens for some of us sometimes. I mean, this is all of my Lovecraftian dreams come true, you know? I mean, to
be fishing and to reel in that's your fetish?
No, I mean, yes, but it's not just that. It's the possibility of a beautiful A-list celebrity being transmogrified in some Kafkaesque fashion into a Lovecraftian monstrosity. And the leering grin and like the dead eyes and everything. I mean, it's really the whole existential package that makes it exciting.
I hate that I understand what you're saying. I hate that so much.
Okay, so now let's hear your input on the design. So obviously it's an A+ from me. I'm not sure I'm not sure who made the costume. I think she's worked with Stan Winston before.
Can we not look at it? Like,
I don't know if Stan Winston did this one, but if they did, or whoever, I really hope Stan Winston and his studio move on to only doing this. Like, stop doing practical effects for like little indie movies that are like, wouldn't it be cute if we used practical effects when everything's digital? It's like, Stan, stop letting yourself be talked down to by the culture like that and just move on to turning beautiful celebrities into worms. Because it's what we all want. It's clearly what we all want. All right, Med, comment, opinion?
What you're saying is this is the great equalizer. Mm-hmm. It takes the essence of what makes someone a celebrity and says, no, you're a worm now. And it makes everyone else feel like, yeah, good. But it's so messed up. I can't look at it. It's so wrong.
It's really
disturbing.
It's really nicely done. Like the details on like this I don't know what this is, like a molting seam running down. Running down them. I love. I'll stop sharing it, but I love how unabashedly realistic it is. I love how they didn't shy away.
I thought it was like a Photoshop thing when you first put it on the screen. I'm like, there's no way.
No, that's real. That's real, and that's where I want fashion to go. I dream of a future where fashion is just you going full costume every day into whatever you want to embody. You want to be a worm? You be a worm, but don't just fuck around halfway with being a worm. Full special effects. And the only thing that's holding us back from this as a society right now is that it's not societally acceptable to walk into work like that. And I want that. I want people to be okay showing up to work as horrifying worms, turtles, some sort of nematode, maybe like a giant tick with like a blood sac or something like that. I think as soon as that is normalized, we will have reached a new plateau in culture where new levels of creativity will have been introduced to the world. You have nothing to say to that. You really have nothing to say to that. The worm doesn't interest you, doesn't excite you. Is there any part of you that's engorged?
Too messing, man.
But which part?
I'm kidding. Fuck it. Look, I see what you're saying. You know, walking into the studio in your worm costume or your nematode, it broadcasts, hey, we're all cool with each other. Nothing matters. No. I think.
I mean,
societal structural rules don't matter. Is what I'm saying.
No. I want the worm thing to be enforced by societal rules.
Oh, enforced, as in everybody has to just.
Yeah, like stop being so fucking boring. Start introspecting. Look, what do you think it took for Heidi Klum to get there in her head? Don't forget who she is.
Substances, probably.
There's a lot of people with similar stations to Heidi Klum, right? But she's the only one commissioning horrifyingly realistic worm costumes.
Yo,
that says something about her.
Victoria's Secret model or something?
I don't know her actual background, but I'll tell you what. It takes a lot to get there, even as a first step. There's no way that it's easy to get there. You've got to make a bold choice. And I'm going to be completely serious. I'm being totally honest here. I think it says a lot about Heidi Klum in a good way.
Oh yeah.
That she's willing to do that and to do those awesome costumes. I'm inspired by her.
She did it for you specifically. She just didn't realize it.
She's got to be doing it for somebody. There's some niche audience of people that she thinks it's a good idea to do this for. And she does them well. She's got a whole backlog of these things.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
She's clearly like living a reality that she's choosing. No one's telling her how to live a reality.
I love that. I love that.
That's what you're getting at.
I think so, yeah. Heidi Klum is my guru, dude. I'm like, I think that's what I would do if I had Heidi Klum's money. And I'm impressed to actually see somebody doing what I would do with that amount of money, to actually go whole hog on Halloween and she's so happy. Look at that smile. I know you can't see the worm, but that horrifying.
See the worm, dude.
This thing through the worm costume, like.
Dude, it's just laying there being interviewed.
She's so happy.
Oh man.
I think that's what really drives me crazy about it, is that she's so happy while she's doing it.
This is something my sister would absolutely love.
She is so happy. Okay, I'm looking at more photos, and there is some point later in the party where she removes the worm costume and is in something she can walk around in more easily, and she looks more, let's say, traditional. But she kept the face on. So
I think I saw it.
Again, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. And I'm not gonna, beggars can't be choosers. All right. It looks like a very uncomfortable costume to be in. Why'd you click that timer?
I turned it
You
off.
bored?
No, it was going since yesterday. I forgot to turn it off.
Oh, really? Because if you want to know how long until you get to stop fucking talking to me, there's a timer in the top right.
Really?
It's been 37 minutes. You've got 20.
No way.
You've got 23 more minutes of talking to me before you get to.
We didn't record that long, did we?
Yeah, we've been recording for 37 minutes. Wait, no. I think that's the whole call. Maybe you're right.
Because we started at the Goblins.
You know what? I honestly, at this point, I don't know, and now I'm scared because now there's really no way to know. Because I was thinking this would be like an hour long, and now there's really no way to know.
You're saying A to Z, the best podcast on the planet, and it's going to be only one episode, is only 1 hour long?
Yeah, so that's why I'm marveling at, like, you're not reacting to the worm thing. It's like there's a prophecy that needs to be fulfilled. Like, you've got to.
Reaction is also a reaction, my friend.
I think that's semantics, and we're going to get bogged down arguing semantics. All right, fine. All right, no, don't worry. I'll carry it. All right, next topic. Topic.
Dear Lord.
You ever dressed as anything good for Halloween?
Yo.
Never.
Man, as a kid, I was Batman. I was a Ninja Turtle. I was a regular ninja. But never anything wild like a worm. Well, which begs the question, all right, you do have Heidi Klum's money, etc. You're in her position and status. Mm-hmm. You're a hot chick, all right. What is your choice of costume, or what would it be?
Damn. Well,
worm's been taken. You got to do something else.
Unfortunately, my number one choice would have been the xenomorph, a very realistic xenomorph. And I think Heidi Klum already did that, actually. She did a great xenomorph one year. But I think I would probably design my own thing. I think I would probably draw something out in a very detailed fashion. I mean, I have a set of skills, a particular set of skills that might be useful in this scenario. And I would commission someone to make that exact costume. If I had to, oh no, scratch that. Elder thing from At the Mountains of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft. So symmetrical in like 6 different directions. Just a giant vegetable, basically. Big ribbed drum body, unfolding leathery wings, tentacular extrusions, proboscis jutting from every angle from my starfish head, all that stuff. And intricately puppeteered by a team of people in a van at behind the venue that I'm going to. So inside, I'm just like moving some wings a little bit, but there's a whole crew of people in the back with robot knobs that are doing the proboscis, right? They're kind of making them look at people, and if anybody gets close to me, one will kind of like wiggle over there and try to kiss them or something like that. That's what I would do.
That's what I would do. Anything less. And I want to just say to the audience, Not many people know the plural of proboscis. I just want to point out that Steven does, and he used that twice already. So
it might not be proboscis. My intuitions in English. Now I got to Google it.
I'm curious.
Let's see. Proboscis. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Most people don't know what that is.
Proboscis.
I didn't know until you mentioned it back at Art Center.
Nope, it's proboscises or proboscides. That's actually cooler. It's not proboscis, it's proboscides. I'm going to go with proboscides. I'm going to go with the more unusual one.
All right, man. Sure. All right, cool. What would my costume be? I think the first thing that I would have normally done is like, what's cool? All right, me and a guitar, whatever, or in some kind of outfit, some whatever. But that's all BS. We know that. It's like, what is
you with just a guitar? That's BS.
No, as in like
that's not a Halloween costume.
Outfit of playing a character that plays a guitar.
Okay.
And trying to flex, right? So it's all ego stuff.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
What's the you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
The opposite is what does ego hate the most? It's shame. So it's like, what would I be most ashamed of being in public, being perceived as, whatever that is. I think that has to be the costume if I'm going to do it right.
What is it?
Oh, I don't know.
I think you do know.
A big flashlight or something?
That'd be awesome. And I guess you could just let people fuck you.
No, no.
Well, that, you know what I mean. But it's got to be functional.
That's the extreme. I wouldn't do that. But in that category.
It'd be unforgettable, though. It'd be
I'd be ashamed forever.
That's the point. It would be deeply shameful, yeah.
I couldn't make eye contact with anyone after that.
You'd be experiencing fear all night. It'd be a truly spooky Halloween. And the people around you would be afraid too. They wouldn't think it's cool. They'd be really scared the whole time.
But it would do the job.
No, they'd never forget. It'd be a truly spooky Halloween. It would go down in history. I think you've got to do it.
I'm not gonna do it.
No, I think you can't just put an amazing idea like that out in the world and then not go for it. There's no way.
Just the rubber part?
Well, okay, so I think that...
How does it work?
Okay, so I think for an across-the-room read, your full body is like a very large fleshlight. Maybe like...
upright.
Yeah, maybe like one of the cross-section views that they use to sell it to you on the sites, Mm-hmm. But then for the practical portion, which is that people can engage with it while you're in it.
You get a bunch of them, all right.
Yeah, there's like smaller ones that are at the actual human scale, and they're arrayed around. Yes.
Yeah, someone's going to draw this, right?
It could be used as a concept for the actual construction of the the costume. Then we can take. I'm just going to say that with your elevated and rarefied position in the art community, you could easily get a meeting with Stan Winston Studios, and you'll say, I have a proposition. As you know, I'm a professional concept designer, and I've come up with something, and I have the necessary funds to commission you, Stan, to make it. Get in there, meeting. We're talking red velvet drape covering a foam core presentation board on a tripod. We invite everybody in, maybe cater from Tender Greens or something like that. I'm in the corner taking notes, of course. And you say, Stan, other members of the with a controlling interest in Stan Winston Studios, thank you so much for being here. As you know, I have an elevated and rarefied station and a considerable personal estate, and I think that it's time that I take my cues from one of my personal heroes, Heidi Klum, and start a ritual of commissioning an incredible Halloween costume every year. And Stan's like, well, we love, I don't know what he sounds like. We love doing that with Heidi every year. I mean, those costumes are one of our few opportunities to really stretch our legs and get back to practical effects the way that we really want to. Ahmed, we'd love to work with you on this. And you go, well, I'm super excited for that. That's why I want to show you the giant fleshlight costume with small fleshlights arrayed all around so that everybody at my Halloween party, which I'm throwing, can fuck me.
I'm gonna make sure my parents don't see this podcast.
Yeah, I think it's clearly has to go on my channel. I do wanna again. I wanna.
I saw the whole scene play out. Good job.
Yeah, well, I painted a picture effectively. I do want to remind my mother that was all Ahmed's idea, and I didn't.
Okay.
I came up with none of that.
Thanks for reading the script that I sent you.
I was merely riffing. Honestly, I bet Stan Winston Studios would be into it.
Bro, we went to Art Center. We could make it. I don't.
I can't make that. You know how to make that? What are you going to use? Silicone or something like that?
Well, I figure you could just paper mache most of it.
No, it's not funny unless it's perfect. It's got to be perfect.
You mean like it has to look and feel real as though it's scaled up?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Batman's a cool character. I might go as him.
He's not as cool as a giant fleshlight. He isn't.
I get the bad ears and stuff. I could do the eyeliner.
Yeah, if you want to regress to your childhood, if you want to go back to being a 5-year-old little boy, go make your Batman costume instead of making a giant infantile joke about sex toys.
Listen to me.
Okay.
You ever watch The Mask? Jim Carrey?
Oh, I love The Mask.
I was
love
watching
The
it
Mask.
last night. Forgot how amazing that is. There was a line that I completely missed because I was a kid when I saw it about describing. There was a psychologist, the guy who does the Visine commercials. Visine, it's good, whatever. He's in that, and he says some psychology line about accessing your id, which is your uninhibited inner child's whatever. And that's what The Mask did for Jim Carrey.
Right.
And that's what you're doing. You're The Mask right now, saying, no, you got to explore the dark id and become that toy.
There's nothing dark about sex toys.
Listen.
Just want to go on the record. All right.
Okay.
That's your own Puritan, white, Anglo-Saxon background showing through.
Second.
You wasp motherfucker. You're such a prude. Oh my God.
First, for the record, I'm only a quarter white.
Wait, you are? I actually didn't know that. You're a quarter white?
You didn't know? Yeah,
I wouldn't be your
dad's-
friend if I knew you were a quarter white. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you don't have very many white friends. Anyway, shout out to Joey. Freaking yeah, my dad's half. So
I didn't know that. I actually didn't know that. Yeah. Well, maybe no. You probably told me at some point. I just forgot. We've been friends for a long time.
Information.
Yeah. But that is the part of you that is completely blackballing sex toys. It's that is the part of your genetic lineage that is determining your negative view.
Oh, when I
of
say
human sexuality.
Okay, let me rephrase it then. When I meant dark, I mean the lights are off. Whatever happens in that place, that's where this mind goes.
I see.
I don't mean dark as in sinister or evil.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Glad we cleared that up.
Yeah. So back to The Mask. Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
So good.
That's my grandma's favorite movie.
Dude.
Yeah.
You would always talk about your grandma in the funniest way, where no matter what you're watching, she always tries to guess what's happening, and she'll guess something completely wrong. Like, oh, he was the dad.
Yes.
It's like not.
It's one of my favorite things in life. And what she guesses is always better than the actual plot. Oh. Every time I hear it, I'm like, my initial reaction is like, why would he be protecting the son of the bad guy it doesn't make, and then I think about it more and I'm like, that would be such a cool movie if he was doing that. It's like her wild, insane idea is always better than the actual plot. Oddly enough though, The Mask is one of the few movies that what she thinks is going on is what's going on in The Mask. And maybe that's one of the reasons that she really loves it. For people who don't know, my grandma, my abuelita, only speaks Spanish, but she watches tons of movies in English. And I promise you, she does not speak a word of English. It's been a long time that she's been in the States, but she does not speak it.
And almost 100 or over 100?
She's 101 now.
Holy moly.
She's 101 years old.
Congrats.
But yeah, because she doesn't understand the movies, she misinterprets the plot completely, but not the mask. She's like, he found a magical green mask that makes him cool and funny. And I'm like, yep. Yeah, you nailed it. She's like, and his girlfriend didn't like him before, but now that he's cool and green, she's into it. And I'm like, again, accurate, very accurate. That's true. And she understands that he's more confident, that he's more suave. I think she also likes the Cuban Pete bit in the middle, you know? He's got the maracas.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, because I'm Cuban Pete. I'm the king of the rumba beat. When I play the maracas, I go chi-chiggy-boo, chi-chiggy-boo. Da-na-na. Yeah, and then he makes all the cops dance, which is, you shouldn't do that. It's like, I imagine it would be very scary to be mind controlled and forced to dance and lose control of your body. I don't think that's a good idea.
Which makes it a great movie.
It is.
That's got some dark stuff. You remember what he did to the mechanics?
No.
So they had his Honda Civic, and they were taking advantage of him. But he goes back as the masked version of himself with like these big old mufflers, and he turns them into cars and puts the muffler as an exhaust pipe in the back. And then the next morning, they're on the news. They're like they're being rolled away. Like, help me, help me. You don't remember that?
Oh my!
It was dark, man.
He turns them into cars.
Yeah,
dude, I'm sick of these movies making fun of our fear of suddenly being turned into cars. I can't stand it. It's like, that's not funny. We all live in constant fear of spontaneously transforming into cars. And it's low-hanging fruit to make movies like The Mask and Cars by Disney Pixar that prey on that fear and the post-apocalyptic future that we could very well find ourselves in, where all of us are now sentient.
Bye,
Sorry, I just got really scared. Sentient cars.
Dude, I love that joke of yours. Let me tell the audience how I first heard that joke. I was driving. You were the passenger seat. No, you were driving, and I was in the passenger seat looking at the Kim Jong-gi book. I remember we were driving to Thinkwell or something. And you're like, they fucking did it. I'm like, huh? Like, you said that exact line about, the deep-rooted fear that all humans have of spontaneously turning into cars. I'm like, where's this going? And then you go, and then Pixar has the balls to go and make a movie about it.
It was easy to go back to that bit there because it's one of the few dumb jokes like that I remember from my past because you were so deeply affected by it. You had a total freak out because of that joke.
Like, where are you going with this? I was laughing so hard. But yeah, he does it in The Mask. You should see it.
I need to put together a compilation of every time in movies there's sentient cars and people who get transformed into cars.
Transformers, but they're not really people. But
yeah,
it
they're
implies
not
some things because they have a voice.
They're not people, right? They're made conscious by the Metatron or something like that.
Dude, you're a nerd.
I think that's it. Or the Allspark or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Or am I mixing it up? There's some Meta something or Allspark. Basically, God loves cars. And if there's there's parts of God, right, that are congealed in particular places in the universe, right? So that's what the Allspark is, right? It's a focused, condensed area of God's grace and love. And if a car touches it, it becomes a robot. And it knows that it's a car all of a sudden. And if that's not how it works, it raises a lot of interesting questions, right? It's like, we know, so Bumblebee, right? Yellow, black, sometimes a Mustang. It's like, we know what's in him, right? Air conditioner filter, 4 humble wheels, carburetor, catalytic converter, possibly 8-cylinder engine. All of these parts in aggregate somehow feel that there is something it is like to be Bumblebee. At what point in the construction of a car like that does consciousness emerge? Is there if we take away the catalytic converter, is there a more rudimentary form of consciousness that the car experiences, that Bumblebee experiences, my Honda Civic, absolutely conscious. It suffers. It has feelings. It eats food. I push a hamburger through the air conditioning grate every day to feed it. It shits. It takes
Please
shits.
draw this.
It leaves shits in the middle of the street as I drive. And I'm sure you've heard of, have you ever heard of, what is it? The Ship of the Argonauts, that philosophical thought experiment. Yeah. Okay. So that's basically what I'm getting at here, right? Swap. It could be a car. It could be a ship, but it's also, you see where I'm going here, right?
Conscious. No.
What?
It's conscious. Like there's a consciousness. Yeah. Well, the through line is that there's a consciousness embodying it despite the changes on the outside.
Yeah, but for the car, not for the boat.
Oh, okay.
Boats can't touch the Allspark and gain consciousness.
Oh, it's cars only because God only loves cars.
Have you ever fucking seen Transformers?
Oh, shoot. There's no boats.
Yeah.
All right, go on.
Hell no. There is one. There's a what are the ones that launch planes? What are those called?
Carriers?
Yeah, there's an aircraft carrier, which I would argue that that's less a boat and more of a car for airplanes.
But you're not going to get like a jet ski transformer is what you're saying.
No, or at least I would say that would violate the rules of the universe to allow a jet ski to attain to consciousness or sentience.
We'll write that one down just to make sure no one does it.
Well, but we could posit a fantasy universe where we could make our own story with jet skis that drive around and things like that. All we should do on this podcast, again, which this is the only episode of.
Yeah. It's only going to happen once.
We should just
Every time it happens, it's just going to happen once.
Only once. We should just write movies. That was always one of our favorite things to do. Was just write movies. We should just write a different movie every episode.
Well, every episode will be titled episode 1 because it's the only episode, right?
You got it, baby. You got it,
yeah,
baby.
we're gonna write movies.
Not right now, though.
To do.
I already wrote one.
Yeah.
I wrote the jet ski movie. And
I feel it would be right.
Inciting incident, jet ski touches the Allspark.
Right.
Midpoint, jet ski loses the jet ski race to another jet ski that is sentient. It didn't know that it was sentient until they crossed the finish line. It came in second place. And it's like, how could I have been defeated by a non-conscious jet ski? The red jet ski, red's the bad guy color, turns around, opens its jet ski eyes, and he says, oh my God, it's touched the Allspark as well. It's also sentient. Then it knows that it has to, Dark Night of the Soul, right? It realizes that it's not special, that there's other jet skis like it. And then it eventually wins the race.
And the real message is learned after that happens, because when it realized, oh, I'm not alone, the first instinct that we all have is destroy the other thing, because that's survival, and that's what it tried to do.
Yeah, well, the climax would be it trying to kill the other jet ski.
But it realizes it can't, because it'll end up being alone.
Right, they're the only two.
Yeah, or so they think.
Do they fuck at the end? There's a rule in movies where you can't have a sex scene after the midpoint. It's like it's very rare. I'm trying.
Now that you mention it, you're right.
Yeah, it's always got to happen before the midpoint, or else it seems egregious. It's too over the top. What's that magic card?
It is vivisection.
Nice.
And it says,
now that would be me. I would be a vivisection for sure.
Though their work is widely reviled, stitchers see themselves as being on the cutting edge of science.
Got him.
This is cool, man. I don't know. Here's the weird thing about Magic the Gathering, and what I'm glad about is that a podcast like this doesn't have to be consistent. We can just jump around.
Oh, yeah, I don't care.
Because it's not a podcast, it's a conversation. So, and I like to talk. So, it was like, maybe I was like 12 or 13, and that's when my friends, actually my brother and his friends were like into magic, and whatever they were into, I kind of followed suit. And then I became older, 13, 14. For some reason, I thought everything that they were into, certain kinds of games, Magic the Gathering, like died with them. Not that they died, but they're just no longer in my life, right? And so I just assumed that, yeah, there's no way people still play Magic because, yeah, I know those guys. They graduated and stuff, so there's no way people still play.
It's only them. They're the only players.
Dude, from the eyes of a child, that's the only information you're working with, you know?
Yeah.
And so to rediscover that there's a whole thriving world of Magic the
Oh
Gathering.
my God. So thriving.
The tournaments, the art, the controversies, I really thought it was gone, which then made me realize, what else have I dismissed as being done? It's a lot of things. I've been so jaded for the last 15 years, man.
Well, what do you open your mind to? What are you opening your mind to? What are you finding? What other stuff?
Well, rewatching old movies that, I thought lost all value because they're in the past, like The Mask, finding that they're wonderful. And just like, yeah, anything new that comes up, my normal reaction would just be like, it's just a fad, it's going to fade just like everything. And it was this jaded outlook. And so now I'm, when music comes on, if it would be like rap, I'd be like, I would turn it off or something because I've already compartmentalized it as something I already know. But like now I let it be whatever it is and experience it. And each thing, whether you like it or not, has a story, it has a place that it takes you. And if you let it, you just might find yourself in a new place. You don't always have to retreat into listening to only Tool. I'm just talking to myself at this point. Because that's not the only thing that exists. And that's what I realized.
It is true that Tool isn't the only thing that exists. But what it feels to me like what you're getting at here is that you love art.
I'm starting to discover that, yes.
Yeah, it sounds like it, it's a very sweet sentiment. I like it. I also expressly prohibited you from bringing up art on this podcast. I really wish you hadn't done that. No, I didn't. I told you it was all right. But yeah, movies are great. Films are great. I just watched, this weekend, I just went to the theater and saw bless you, excuse you, and you should be, don't offend me like that. I just went and saw the Palme d'Or winner from Cannes this year. It's called Triangle of Sadness, I want to say. I liked it. I would, if anyone out there is into weird movies, I like weird movies.
What's it called? Triangle of Sadness?
Triangle of Sadness. I think so. I'm pretty sure. Tell me if I'm right. But it was very strange. If you are okay with long movies, I saw it in a theater full of people, and it was great energy. I mean, people were dying laughing at a lot.
Was a comedy?
Yeah. It is a dark comedy. It was a dark comedy. It's one of those, kind of off-kilter dark comedies where there's a lot of points in there where if you're just looking for comedy, you're going to want to leave the theater. You're going to be like, this is distinctly not funny and I don't want to be here for this. So you've got to go in for both sides of it. But it was a really good experience. I liked it. I like just because you were talking about opening yourself up to new things and things like that.
The trailer is just a bunch of like topless dudes.
Yeah, the main character is a male model. I'll refrain from saying anything else because it's fun to be surprised by where the story goes. Sure. Each big turn that it takes is like, okay, why the hell would that happen? But they hold it together. It was a good movie. I liked it a lot.
Had you told me that a year ago or just a few months ago, I'd have been like, yeah, not my thing. It still is not my thing. Mm-hmm. But with this other mindset where I've taken away the compartmentalized panels of my reality and said, okay, what else is out there? That was such a good way to describe that. I'm so good at talking sometimes. It's like, okay, well, why not just experience the thing and see where it goes? Yeah. That doesn't mean I want to try everything, but at the same time, it's like, okay, my friend recommends a movie. I'll see what's there,
Yeah. I've been, what else has been fun? I've been part of a book club lately.
Okay.
That was fun, or it has been fun. I know it's a very basic thing to say you're enjoying, but if you get into a good one, they're what they're cracked up to be. It is it is nice. It is nice to actually consume a piece of media with the express intent of commentating on it with your friends when it's done. Like it makes it more fun to read it because you're like, oh, I'm going to talk about that and how much that sucked or how cool that is or that, just all of your feelings about it. It makes you feel the feelings that you have about the media a little bit more tightly.
I can see that.
And it
makes reading a social thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it does. You still get to experience it sort of, on your own day to day. So it's you get
a particular genre, like sci-fi or just anything.
I think no, not really. This book club, most of the books so far have been nonfiction, just because that's an interest of a lot of the people in the club. But the one that's up for this coming month is a fiction book. So there's no real. They pick a theme for every book. So all right, the way this one's structured is they pick a theme which is decided on between the leader of this month and the leader of the next month. So they both put their heads together and they pick a theme, and then the leader for next month picks like 4 books that are within the theme. It doesn't have to be rigid. It can fit creatively into the theme. And then everyone in the club just votes on which one they want to read. So everyone has a say. The themes aren't super rigid. So it's like there can be nonfiction in there, fiction in there, but one theme could be nature. Another theme could be plants. Another theme
incredible.
Could be, it's a really cool idea.
Do you guys hop on Discord and chat and stuff or what?
We're meeting in person. It was Deirdre's sister who started the club, so it's all local. That's my wife, so it's my sister-in-law who started the club. But yeah, I think she heard that setup somewhere else, and I can vouch for it. If anyone's looking to start a book club, it's a good way to do it because it keeps it flexible and everybody gets a say. It's also a women's book club. So I'm actually not in it. It's like I'm a featured act because I'm a boy, which seems that seems rude. I also don't get a vote because I'm not in the book club. It's like, oh, really? Oh, so I just have to. Now, I don't have to go, but, Deirdre's listening to them on audiobook a lot of the time. And so I originally wasn't going to participate, but she listened to the whole first book in a bunch of car rides we were doing, going back and forth to New Jersey when my family was moving. So I heard the whole thing. So I was like, well, I read the fucking book. Why am I not going to go to the book club? So I was the one guy at book club. And then I did the same with the next book. And then I was like, all right, now I'm into it. So now I'm just genuinely interested in it.
Yeah, we could start our own book club.
A boy. Well, if
We're
it's
not going to do it, but
boys only though.
Well, we'd get canceled for that. Girls allowed to do it. Guys can't.
Yeah, and they should be canceled. I hope my book.
Speaking.
I hope my book club gets canceled. I want them to be defenestrated in the New York Times. Like, I'm sick of the way that they treat me and the other boyfriends that surround this group like moons around planets. It's fucking annoying.
You're just orbiting, bro.
We should make a men's only book club with the express intent of being canceled, and then when we get canceled, we'll take them down with us. We'll turn it. Yeah, come on, they're a women's only book club, and I was a part of it. I didn't get a vote. That wasn't nice.
This is so stupidly niche. Like, it would just be brushed off. Like,
of course, no one actually gives a crap. No one actually gives
exactly.
But
we don't care. We're just kidding, for the record.
Of course. Well, I mean, you are. But I will also say though, a women's book club is definitely going to be more interesting than a men's book club, because
makes sense.
If I started a book club with all of the guys I can imagine inviting to it, we would only read Stephen King. That's what it would average out to. It was everyone would get angry, they would complain. It'd be nothing but presidential autobiographies and Stephen King novels. It'd be that over and over and over again. It'd be so boring.
Ben Franklin again?
It'd be so boring. They'd get on a kick, like how guys get. They get really neurotic. They'd be like, all right, for the next, how many presidents have there been?
I don't know. 80?
Jesus, we're bad Americans.
Like 50.
I think it's 50 something. Look it up.
Yeah.
Med,
Jamie,
pull it
can
up.
you look that up?
Let's see how many presidents it is. If it's anything like the 54 weeks in a year, someone in the book club would get on a kick where they're like, we're going to read an autobiography of every president once a week for a year. And all the guys, because they're like, oh, well, I read more than you do. They'd get all competitive, and then they would completely tank the book club. So
46.
That's
I don't know
it.
if this recent one actually counts.
Oh my God, that is 46 presidents. That's nothing. I thought
We're
it
a
was
very small, very infant civilization.
I thought we were in the 50s, dude.
I thought
oh
so
my
too.
God, history is brand new.
Oh yeah, we're fresh off the boat.
We're fresh out the womb. I mean, we've been doing this thing for so little time. Jesus.
Yeah, we think we've been around since the beginning.
And it's like, no, it's like when you think about the history of America, like when it started with our first president, Abraham Lincoln, back in 1322, it's like he just got off the boat. He stuck his wooden teeth down into the ground and he said, "It's America, bitch." And everyone around him was like, "You're right, Abe." Well, he had like a really high pitched voice, right? So he was like, "It's America, bitch." Something like that.
I love this alternate history.
Alternate.
Okay, yeah.
It's just history. It's just history. I'm not going to.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, the first pilgrim. Let me educate you. Abraham Lincoln was born in England, which is a part of the UK, which is a part of Britain, which it was even back then a part of the EU. Over there, they had a religion called the Shakers, and Abraham Lincoln was a Shaker. And the Napoleon Bonaparte, who was at that time the head of the French Parliament, had a problem with the Shakers, and their president, the president of the Shakers, Abraham Lincoln, he sent him a message. He said, "You guys need to go to America, where Apple is stationed, and you need to move over there because we don't like you here." Abraham Lincoln said, "We're worried Apple's valuation is going to drop below $1 trillion. And Napoleon Bonaparte said, "We don't care." So they got on the Santa, the Pinta, the Anna Maria. They went across the Pacific Ocean, and they arrived at Palo Alto, California. And Abraham Lincoln put his wooden teeth into the ground, and he said, "I hereby found Steve Jobs and Bill Wozniak." And they apparated from the earth as men made of clay, fully formed. They sprang from the earth. Well, Abraham Lincoln spat on the ground. Well, that's what was on his wooden teeth. He breathed life into them with his golden breath. And so were Bill Wozniak and Steve Jobs formed perfectly at the age of 35. And they invented the Amiga right there. They invented the Amiga right there. And they said, Abraham, his name was Abraham Lincoln, right? That's not a coincidence. Abraham was the founder of the Messianic religions. So they said, "Abraham, would you do the honors and found America?" And he hit print on the Amiga's keyboard, and the Declaration of Independence came out. And that's why we're here. That's why you, me, and everybody else that's how fresh we are. That's how new we are. All right. We think, you have something to say?
Yeah.
I was trying to teach you.
Teach me. Okay. Look, you've gotten a lot of stature recently, which is great. Your exposure is much more, which is awesome. Which means a lot of people are listening. Which means potentially screenwriters are listening. Which means potentially one of you listening, start capturing these glimpses of Steven describing whatever. Turn it into a movie. That's a movie waiting to be made. Parody, whatever. Doesn't matter.
A historical epic, you mean?
You want to make money? Steal this guy's stories.
You want to make some real money? You want to make money? Steal my ideas. Come on, baby, steal my ideas.
If not a movie, those of you listening, somebody illustrate that as a little graphic novel.
Just type it into your AI. Just put it right into the AI.
Oh, God,
have it spit it out. It'll look great. I know. I broke my own rules. Fuck it. All right, Med. Before we wrap up, what else? What else is on your mind? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, what do you want to talk about?
Let me show you. Just wait, dude.
Hurry up.
You're stressing me out.
Give me whatever you got.
I got it.
Whatever you got, give it to me.
You're gonna get it.
Oh, I want to hear it.
You're gonna be like, oh, I don't know. I wasn't ready for this.
Ooh, whatever you got, give it to me. I'm ready.
That's too sexual.
Oh, I'm gonna be ready. I'm not ready right now, but I'm gonna be ready.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna be ready. Any second now.
You say that one more time.
I'm gonna.
God damn it.
Oh, I'm gonna.
Sorry, audience.
Are you Googling right now?
No, I'm trying to open the darn page.
If you share your screen, it should show up in the recording just fine.
There's too many liabilities on my screen right now.
Tab after tab of human depravity.
There it is. Wait. Oh my God. I didn't know these were here. Okay. All right, just click that link. Let's go back in time.
Oh my God, you still have this?
I didn't know I had it till I was like, I gotta see if I still have it.
Oh my God. Can I show this on screen?
Of course. Wrapping up, we just got started, man.
All right, tell everybody what we're looking at here.
Steven and I had this blog. We were both students at Art Center, and we would either write little assignments that we'd have to do or post our recent sketches just to keep up, whatever. We were trying to have a motivating thing. And we had this thing where, okay, there was a chick. All right, let me try to remember. There was a girl who I was into, and there was another thing we were both into at the time a lot, which was Wendy's. And so in this comic, it was like 1 a.m. and I just busted this out, this comic, and I'm like, you have to play your part when it gets to you, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're sure you weren't followed?
Yes. Why the urgency?
Last night, I went to see her.
Oh, Brittany?
No. It was Wendy. I'm sorry. I should have told you. This won't happen again. And so I went to get Wendy's burgers by myself, and I didn't tell him, so I made a comic about it.
Now, we have to be very clear here, or I need people to understand, this was your favorite way to waste time in school.
Yeah. There's more.
Oh, there's so much more. You instead of doing what you were supposed to be doing, you would make these beautiful things like this out of the stupidest shit. This is still the best picture of me that exists. I still love that portrait of me.
That's a good shot.
It's better than any self-portrait I've ever done. It's got the character of me.
It's the furrow of the brow, I think.
I also love how flatteringly long you made me in the legs.
Stylized, dude.
So good.
I had hair back then. It was great.
Oh, it was great times all around. These were our salad days.
Yeah, if you look at the whole blog, I think you can access it from that. Yeah, Pink Slips.
I'm afraid to click through
Actually,
the whole blog.
Click
There's some pretty troubling things in there.
Yeah, let's not click it. Oh, wait, no. People can find that link. Let me make it private.
Yeah, make it private
Because you'd have
right
to
now.
block it out.
Make it private right now.
Can I? Is that an option?
Settings. Oh, no.
Permission.
It must have been private when we made it. We wouldn't leave that public. Oh. Well, I'm looking at it right now, so
let me try
I'm not
that
logged
link in incognito. Yeah, it's private. Cool. Ha! Phew. Whew.
Oh, thank God. Wait, so that means I'm logged into Blogger right now? How is that possible?
I have no idea.
That is amazing. Are you sure it doesn't? Now I'm going to...
Try it.
I'm going to open it. Yeah, I'm going to open it in in Safari. This is the most exciting part of the podcast,
Well, you know, I was just thinking about that.
where
Like,
you and I leave a smoke screen trying to cover our tracks.
yo, here's the thing. I was thinking, like,
I think you do need to
Imagine-
log into it. Yeah.
imagine people listening to this. And it's like, wouldn't they be bored and annoyed? Like, they want to hear about art and AI and like serious things. I'm like, no. See, if I was just chilling, drawing, and I'm listening to something like this, it would just feel like I'm hanging out with people while making art. That's the beauty of the podcast, not some kind of, oh, we have 10 tips that are going to help you become a great artist. Steven, what do you think? And like, oh, cringe.
I think you're absolutely right, though. Honestly, it's like even the idea of helping someone while they're listening, while they're drawing, even that wasn't it. I just wanted to talk to my friend. That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to joke around with you.
I'm too concerned about the external perception.
Yeah,
You're right. It is about you.
It doesn't need to do it doesn't need to serve a
know.
function for anybody, because it serves a function for us.
I forget
know?
this sometimes.
Yeah, it's always good to de-weight by chatting with your friends who make you feel good. I'm
It's weird
trying.
to have friends, man, isn't it? Don't
It
you
is.
think that?
It is odd. That's a psychedelic trip, right? To have
Yeah.
friends. It's like
Yeah, you're a consciousness behind the body, behind the mind. You're something else. It's floating, and somehow, as you're piloting this meat suit, you find another meat suit, like the jet skis finding another jet ski, and you realize, oh, they're conscious too. And instead of destroying Steven Zapata, there's this like, oh, let's build a bridge, and we call that friendship, which is kind of like reading Rainbow, but that's fine. It's like it's weird. It's weird, and to realize that you're not the only consciousness is, most people, including myself, haven't even processed that, because we just see other people as actors in the movie that we're playing in. We're all the main characters of our movie. But then when you're like, wait, you're saying there's other people who view their reality as themselves as the main character? Wait a second. No, that's too much to process. There's no way.
it's a lot to process.
Too much.
Yeah, it all drives me crazy. I mean, I freak out thinking about friendship, because it's like friendship is experience like, yeah, I myself am a sphere of
Yeah.
being, right? Like I am a presence in my own sphere of consciousness, but you're also a presence, and it's like I know it's weird, and I feel very deeply connected with you, but it's like all I ever know is like your skin as revealed by light and shadow. It's like you're still just like an illusion to me, even though I feel like I know your heart, you know, and that always freaks me out. And then like I wonder,
Goosebumps, man.
I know it's freaky stuff, and I think about that with I think about that with my dog, right? Like sometimes
Yeah.
I'll be looking at her and I'll be like, what do you think we are? Like, what do you think our relationship is? Like, do you even get I'm a thing? Am I just a complex food machine to you? Like, what exactly am I to you? I wonder about that all the time. I mean, that stuff freaks me out. It completely freaks me out.
It's probably safer not to go too deep into that abyss.
Probably not. I mean, there's probably there's
The curiosity.
yeah. Well, I think it's good I think it's good when you're in a state in your life where you need a dose of mystery, right? Because we're artists. We get to sit around pondering the unponderables as much as we want, right? But when life gets very very solid, like you feel like you know what it's about, like it's about your problems, or it's about the grind of work, or it's about your failures, or it's about your problems with your family or something like that. Whenever life gets very like rote and repetitive like that, I think that stuff pondering those things does help you kind of like get out of it. It kind of shakes you out of it, and the mystery is very useful medicinally there. But I think I don't know if you feel this way, but I'm definitely like, I'm a space case. Like I'm a total, like, I'm always like off in my head. Like I'm always doing like manual tasks incorrectly because I'm thinking about some goddamn philosophical point or a story or something like that. For us, yeah, it's probably, you don't need to spend that much time obsessing over those things. The utility starts to fall off, I think.
Yeah. It's fascinating though.
It is. I'm pretty sure my dog just thinks I'm a meat process, like a food process. I'm just a strange. She must think
Abstraction of
that if she does the right things, food comes out.
right.
Just it produces food in a bowl. Well, she does like getting scratched too.
I was about to tell the story. Every time I get there, she knows that when I'm there, it's Scritch's time. So she sees me, she immediately jumps onto the couch, legs up, and she looks at me. It's like ready to go because the visual of me tells her, "Oh, it's Scritch time. I'm the Scritch machine."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I'm being used.
It does bring it down. It brings it down to a very mechanistic level. I feel utterly objectified by my dog.
Oh, so deterministic.
Completely.
Which is too serious of a topic, I think, for what we're...
Oh, yes. Well, truly, Matt. I mean, how different is that from how we feel about each other? I see Ahmed and I think, yeah, now it's time to fuck around and not be serious and say insensitive things.
Oh, man. To this day, every time someone talks about violence, I always tell them the story, my last time ever being abusive to anybody physically, and it was... Sorry, dude, but you.
Yeah.
I felt so bad after. I haven't not hit a single person since.
Then it served its purpose, right?
Did.
It really
Do you remember
did.
what you were screaming?
There's nothing you could do with all your strength, like something like that. Yeah,
whatever the Joker.
Yeah, the Joker line. Yeah, you really surprised me. I wasn't expecting.
Sorry,
I wasn't expecting at all to be attacked, but
I'm so sorry, dude.
once I was being attacked, I found everything fit the bill. I was like, this makes a lot of sense that this is happening.
I mean, you deserved it.
Oh, sure. Oh, I earned it. Yeah.
I still feel bad about it, though.
No,
I should have been mature and be like, okay, this is wrong. Why did you do this?
Like I said, an important lesson was learned. I found where the line is.
Yeah.
I found where the line is, and you found that you regret doing things like that.
Yeah. Which brings us circling back to the Halloween costume. Another idea is me recreating that drawing perfectly from memory.
It must be
Scale
scarred
it
in
up
there.
and wear it like
That'd be,
around the fleshlight.
dude. That'd be beautiful. That would be so beautiful.
I'm never going there.
I would be honored. I would be honored.
Would that be my only way of gaining forgiveness for what I have done?
No, I've already forgiven you, my dear friend. Yeah. I've already forgiven you for that.
Man
but have
abuses his friends. Yeah.
But have you forgiven me? Have you forgiven me for the drawing that I made?
Shoot, I think so.
You think so? You're not carrying that around with you anymore?
Well, let me imagine you doing it again. That would be a test of doing that.
All right, go ahead.
Doing that drawing. Yeah, I think I'd be okay with it. I think not as in like, oh, I champion this, but I wouldn't be like, reacting in the same way. Now people are wondering what the hell the drawing is that you drew to get me to beat you up.
whatever they could imagine would I think it would suffice. Would suffice.
New challenge. Based on the description, submit your submissions of what you think that drawing is, but it has to be a drawing of it, not just text.
No, it has to be an actual drawing. Oh my God, we're gonna get we would get so many things that we'd be like, this is so much worse. This is so much worse than was.
It wasn't too bad actually. Now that we think about it.
No. I mean, all things considered, especially if we add in all the things we've said. Not at all.
Dude. Remember our neighbor, who was also the landlord, thought we were... never mind, let's move on. Because two artists living together, they must be together. Like, no, we're not.
No. Yeah. We did, funny. We did spend a lot of time together. We usually left the house together, came home together, drove around together a lot because we were working together. For a lot of the time, there was a few kisses.
What the fuck?
Those would probably, I would think that would bias their interpretation.
Shit. There were never any kisses.
Hand holding.
You're confusing me with Omar, dude.
No.
I remember at some point your girlfriend, now wife, moved in. Then you guys got the bigger room when we switched, and then Omar took my place, or Deer I don't know, but Omar moved in. But then all I remember about that is tons of ants crawling over the floor. Did you guys ever resolve that?
It took a while, but there was an ant problem for sure.
It was ridiculous. Yeah.
I once had a potato bug crawl onto my foot in that apartment. You know a potato bug? They're the big guys. They're like
those.
Yeah, he was in the
inside.
He was in the apartment. He crawled onto my foot, and I was like, "Oh, great!" And then I killed him, right? But I smushed him like into a corner when I was taking him out. So I thought I got all of him once I cleaned up, but
Were the ants eating him?
yeah, a bunch of him had gotten trapped under the wall where I couldn't see it. And when I woke up the next day, that part of the wall was covered in like a 1/2-inch layer of ants that had all descended upon this potato bug's body to eat him. It was vile. And that one, I did not do much to fix that one because I was moving in like 2 days. So I was like, you know what? Let's just let's kind of let this peter off on its own, and I'm just gonna get out of here. I'm just gonna get out of here. Ooh, that was an especially disgusting thing to wake up to. It was very horror movie. I just saw it yesterday. The more recent one. Oh yeah, you don't like horror movies like that, right?
But that's something I need to start exploring, though.
Yeah.
To answer your question earlier, that's one of them.
I would start somewhere else. I thought it was. It wasn't scary.
Oh.
I didn't find it scary. It wasn't.
What was the original?
I didn't see the original with Tim Curry. I've only seen the new one. I might go back and watch the Tim Curry one just out of curiosity. I thought the effects were cool. It gets trapped in a lot of what goes on in our modern era, where the effects are just. Like the effects are so immaculate a lot of the times, but it just wasn't scary. I found it didn't hit me on the scariness level. But there was some cool stuff of my taste in there, because Pennywise like transforms and does a lot of like psychedelic things with his body and stuff like that, and I like that stuff. That stuff's
I
cool.
do recall one thing Ryan Pallet showed me from that. It was like a shot of him doing this side dance, but his head is like focused, so it's like standing still, but everything else is moving.
Yeah,
that was creepy. Yeah,
that was cool.
I can't imagine that while on any kind of substance or anything.
No, that'd be over the top. That presaged the TikTok trend of doing head stabilized videos for dancing. They got on that early, but it is an off look.
You still doing the TikTok stuff?
No, I haven't done one in a while. I just got caught up with the robot stuff.
The robots.
Yeah, so once things cool down, I'll go back to TikTok.
It'd be a cool idea if we were to ever make a podcast. It's more than just one episode. Mm-hmm. But if we did, we could take kind of like a book club, but we watch something and then make that the theme of like what we, at least as a starting point. And I'm thinking the Animatrix, because that's really in line with the robot stuff. You know what I mean? That's
been a long time since I've seen the Animatrix.
It's super cool.
One of my entrance portfolios for Art Center was a spin-off of one of the Animatrix stories. Yeah.
That was so cool.
I
remember your portfolio.
Oof. Dark times.
You should show that if you can find it.
I found it a while ago. I shot a video of me flipping through it, but I would need to shoot another one. But I have it now. I have the. People want to see my really old stuff. People want to see like from when I was like a early teenager, like 15, 16. The Art Center portfolios are from when I was 18, 19. My
you
God.
Had moved to California prior to Art Center a little bit.
Yeah, I spent a year in California where I put my portfolio together, and then I started at Art Center the next year. But I had made significant progress in that very tight period. But like before then, like even at 17, I was just like, really. Oof.
I've not seen a single thing from you prior to Art Center, so yeah, I'd be curious to see that too.
Oh yeah, it's a good laugh. It's a good laugh. Really abjectly mediocre stuff for sure.
We've all been there.
We've all been. Well, were you ever there? Let's be honest.
Yeah,
I wonder if you were ever there. No, because I saw like oil paintings you did when you were 13, and that seems to it seems to betray that maybe you were never there.
I was 17 when I did the oil stuff. Yeah, if you look at my high school sketchbooks, it's like what you would typically see, even to the skill level of like things that you might find in DeviantArt, like anime kind of stuff. Yeah, it was in the context of the bigger picture, because some people might look at that and say, well, it's better than I am now. Fair enough, but for people who do art, if they were to see that now as a new post, they wouldn't like think it's good. You know, they'd be like, oh, it's just another post, you know?
Yeah.
Not to diminish people's work, but yeah.
No, yeah. I think it's just that a lot of people have, you know, the bad ideas about talent locked into their head, and people sort of like that talent is like ubiquitous, you know, that really, it's like talent is real. I personally believe like there's definitely, especially once you've taught, it's hard to ignore that there's definitely, okay, so talent, it's like, what is talent, right? If you ask 100 people, you're going to get 100 different answers. So it's not that there's like a thing I would call out about someone that say they're talented, but it's like there's a configuration of things that in aggregate look like talent. So there's someone is a very fast learner, or they, instead of being only a visual learner, they understand linguistic instructions very well as well, or they don't have a hard time practicing. Even that can look like talent in the long run, even if they began from a way lower point than someone who is talented, right? So there's all of these things that are actually different temperaments, different skill sets, different habitual things that are totally unique, individual to individual.
It's idiosyncratic for sure.
Yeah, but then we wind up sort of lumping them in and saying that's talent when we look at them from a pulled back view. So
which makes sense when you compartmentalize it, but when you look at it, it's like it's more than just, oh, they're talented. There's so many neurological pathways that have been pushed further for whatever reason, and we think it's that they're special, but really it's just a deterministic domino effect of things happening.
Yeah, so I would definitely, I would consider myself, I would say I began very, just like anyone, well, maybe not just like anyone, maybe other people do start at a higher level, but I would say I started at the fucking bottom. Like really, like I really liked drawing. And the thing is that, okay, so I think if I have talent, what I have is that I only care so much what other people think.
What a blessing to have that.
I've definitely noticed over the years that it's like I care like anyone, but I've been able to tell as I've grown older that I do care less than others. It's like I don't go to, there's a lower cap on my caring than there is on a lot of other people's.
I have a theory as to why, but we'll get to that.
So I think that for me was my talent when it came to drawing, because I was never bothered by being bad at it. And that really bothers a lot of people. Like a lot of students these days they can't stand that their drawings don't look good. And I never really had that. I was always like, that makes sense.
Let me ask you a question. Fine. So let's say you're in high school, you're doing the drawings, whatever, and you do a bad drawing. For you, what is the consequence of that bad drawing?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For other people who didn't have the same arrangement of whatever happens in your psyche, your brain, your existence, feel dread, shame. I certainly did. And a frantic paranoia of I got to make this right so that it's liked, so that I fit in with the world. Yeah. So if you come into the world where you have a good group of friends, you had Omar, Joey, all those awesome people, and a system where your creativity flourished, like you guys did those morning videos, I don't think you had anything to prove to anyone to feel accepted. So I'm just armchair psychoanalyzing, but that would be my guess. It's like people, if they're coming from climbing out of a pit, it's very important to them that their work is good, because to them, and I know this feeling, it reflects their worth in the world. But if your worth is established by the people around you who love you, you don't need to do that, because you're set. And when I look at you, I see this person who wherever you go, you're a brilliant, kind of attractive, charismatic light that people want to be a part of. And that's why you and your group of friends keep making cool stuff. And I think that made you realize, like, why would I care what that person over there thinks about my drawing? Don't you see the love around me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice, man. I mean, I do feel like, yeah, if there's one thing I had, it was a lot of love when I was a kid, for sure.
Your talent was being loved.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. That puts it on everybody else, and I enjoy that. Yeah.
That would be an ideal talent to have.
Yeah, it really did worked out. It did good. It really did. You know, I had a lot of the same anxieties that we all go through. Like, all right, well, how do I get a job, right? Like, I still found that as anxiety making as anybody else, right? Because that was like, but it's a different thing, because it's like that's like the mystery of like, what steps do you need to do to pull that off, right? But it was like I had sort of that forward-facing anxiety, but I never had that backwards-facing, like, ooh, my bad drawings mean something about me, or I'm stuck here, or anything like that.
Like, it doesn't give you immense dread imagining putting your drawing in front of someone and then them saying, ugh, this is stupid, get out of my face.
Yeah, no, that never really.
A lot of people would be destroyed hearing that.
It also did result in that I didn't put my drawings in front of people very often, and not for fear, but. And then when they would ask, I would do it, right? When they were like, can you draw something as like the poster for the school play? I was always like, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's no problem. Like, I was happy to put it out there. But unless somebody asked, I just worked for myself. I didn't really feel much need to put it out there. I think that the first time that changed was when I did that web comic about my high school. That was the first time that I was like, I think no, I wish it did. I wish it did. It
lives on in your streaming intros.
I think I'm going to try to find some of them. Because I think there's a few places I could look where they might pop up. But the last time I looked, like, I found like one out of a bunch that I had made when I looked on like Wayback Machine or something like that. Everything else was all broken, because it just wasn't up there for very long and all that.
It sounds like, when you're telling that example with drawing the poster, at no point what did it even cross your mind to use art as your identity?
No.
And I think that's the key here. And by the way, you're talented as a draftsman as well. Let's not overlook that.
It's very important for you to say that. Yeah, let's take a second to not overlook that. Let's take a second. It's like, I'm very fucking good now.
Yeah, you weren't. I've seen your bad days. I've seen
embarrassing, but now, holy shit.
Oh yeah.
Okay, what were you going to say? No, it was very important to take note of that. Very important to take note of that. You forgot completely? That's bad, because that makes that bit seem extra crazy that it completely derailed your train of thought.
Because there's truth in both, so one truth just overrode the other.
You were saying identity, that it shouldn't. I didn't let it control my identity. Well, I also had a lot of identities as a youth. I think that's actually narrowed a bit in my older age, because now
like it funneled into something. You mean?
Yeah, because I just do less stuff, which I think happens. You do a lot more stuff when you're young, but you also have the wisdom of just seeing how silly stuff like that is as time goes on and things like that.
Weird call. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but I think for other people, we often get stuck with trying to find our token to offer to the world to establish our value and status. And so if you don't need to do that, why would it even cross your mind to use art as your identity or your brand as your identity? Like, I think when people see you, they see themselves in you, in that you're just another person, as we all are. Like, I don't think besides the bits where you do some acting, obviously we know it's acting, or so we think, and I think that's part of the talent and magic that emanates from you. It's just like, I'm just one of you. But don't you know this? Yeah.
But what do you think people see when they see you?
Oh,
Ned.
I've
What do
been
you-
thinking about this a lot. Why are you
Yeah,
making
what do
this
you-
about me? This is about you.
Let's see. Let's hear. What do you think people see when they see you?
Okay, I can only hypothesize. So the curation that I've put forth in the last 10, 12 years went on quite a journey. I think it initially started as being seen as a useful and effective resource to get good at art. So I feel like I was seen as a resource, which is, it makes sense, because it's like I wouldn't have wanted to remove that and say, okay, let's put this aside. Here's who I am. Here's me. And I'm only recently doing that. And so I think it's a gradient from being seen as a resource to now it's ambiguous, but I think it's going towards well, maybe this is me trying to curate and control it again, but as an artist, like I want to be able to not be seen as just a teacher.
Right.
So how do people see me? I mean, some people send me some DMs requesting certain things, but that's that's a very small. That's wanted to flex for a second. But I think mostly
Those people, I think I can provide what you're looking for. Not I'm just saying that I have access to certain files that if you're willing to make the proper trades, I think I can. What you're seeking, message me.
No, but I think people see me as, and I'm kind. Like I actually care about people's well-being, and I think that comes across.
Yeah. I think that for sure. I think, I mean, people have, even when you were in deeply, deeply like resource mode, I think that came through because always whenever I met people who knew about you or were fans of you, that always came through. People were always bringing up the caring angle and the connection angle. That was always there, even when you were in full resource mode, for sure.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. I think that I don't think you can help that to a certain degree. You know, you can't hide the fact that you're so empathic, you know? I mean, you've always longed for connection. And I think that comes off of you in a beautiful gossamer steam that really attracts people to that, and they can see it.
You're too good at this. All right, I'll save the crying for later.
Just now it's just a crying stream. We should do a stream where we just cry for a full hour.
That would be so healing and therapeutic.
Great. And then everybody who's watching can cry.
Yeah, that'd be great. That's my biggest fear, though, crying in front of people. I haven't done it since I was like 6, maybe 5.
Damn.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
I'm going to cry right now.
It wasn't safe to...
Just give me a second. All right, I'm going to think about, all right, what makes me cry?
Don't do it, man.
No, I'm going to do it. Shut up. Let me focus. Let me get sad. Shut up.
Oh, you know what helps?
Oh, God.
There's the videos of people gifting their colorblind grandparents those glasses and they can see color for the first time.
Joy makes you cry?
Well, because they start to feel emotional, and you're like, oh, you feel for them.
You get them. No. I want to let out dark tears. I need to listen.
Yeah,
I need to watch like the black box recordings from when planes go down. That's what I need. Just pilots just going completely stony and getting completely technical, but knowing that their death is coming. That's what I need to watch. That's too grim, huh? You see, there it is. I could see it on your face. That got way too grim. Just like they exit their bodies, they know what's coming, but they have to execute a series of manual actions in the vain hope that they'll survive.
I don't know if that would make me cry, though. I feel like that is just an acceptance of the universe, and so I'm like okay with it, right? Things that I think that get me is when walls break down between people.
I just want to say I know that makes me cry because I've cried to that before.
Oh, okay.
Just for anybody who thinks I'm a psychopath, I am.
No, it makes sense because like there's going to be a loss of life, and how could you not?
The one time I heard there was some YouTube video that had them, and I like curiosity clicked. I was like, I remember like 3 minutes in, I was just like, oh god, it was just all too much. Yeah.
Oh shoot. Well,
death. It's a great thing to make a joke about. People love it when you joke about real tragedies. It's great.
The scene in Good Will Hunting, that gets me every time. Matt Damon, Robin Williams, where he goes.
The
"It's not
one
your
where he
fault."
tells the guy at the bar that he doesn't care that he went to Harvard? That scene makes you cry? Wait, the scene where he says, "How about dem apples?" when he slams the phone number up against the window, that makes you, oh, because you feel like the guy who didn't get the girl. You feel like the guy who went to Harvard and the guy who's just the janitor stole your girl, and then you start
Nailed
to cry.
it. That's it. Yep.
I mean, I can't say that makes me feel sad, but I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from with that.
Dang
When
it,
when I put myself there, I'm like, no, I think, no, that could hurt. That could hurt, right? Yeah. How about them apples? Yeah.
No. You know the scene where Robin Williams is in the room with Matt Damon.
I stopped watching after the bar scene.
Wait, you didn't see the whole thing?
I don't think I've seen all of Good Will Hunting.
You got to see that scene.
I stopped it at that montage where he's in his apartment reading books and there's nothing but books in the apartment. I think that's where I stopped.
Oh my dude!
I was like,
no.
I'm not. No, that
I have
ain't
no
it.
idea.
Did I even get to Robin Williams? Wait, is the last shot in Good Will Hunting a car driving?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have seen it. Okay, my bad.
You don't remember the scene where he's in the room and like looking at the photos of Matt as a kid and he was just bruised up and Robin's like, "It's not your fault," and Matt's like, "Yeah, I know," and Robin's like, "No, you don't understand. It's not your fault." He's like, "Yeah, I know. What are you doing?" And then he broke down the wall, and then he was just sobbing, and I've never seen that or felt that in real life.
It's funny what the different things we remember about this movie.
Yeah, I don't remember any of the things you're talking about.
I think that
Except
scene.
maybe the car driving away.
I think that scene must have been like what you needed, and when I saw that, I was like, that makes sense. Yeah, it's like
You mean
a catharsis.
Don't all need that?
You know, people get different things from art. I think that's what we're learning here in this moment right now. People
You're just
get
going back to
different.
the fact that we're different consciousnesses. I don't like this.
Yeah, it's true. People get different things from art, and that's why you got to make a lot of art, because it's like there's so many people out there who need to see things in different ways. So it's very important that there be a lot of really good art out in the world. So it's
Right.
all of our personal responsibilities as creatives to happily produce as much beautiful art as we can possibly muster before the fated day of our death. The fated day of our death.
You hear that, screenwriters? That's another movie right there. Just take it. Artist tries to say everything before he dies.
I do often make that, people often ask me on streams, will you ever do like a challenge or something like that? Like, could you do a challenge, like the
100 Heads Challenge, but
something like, anything like that. And I always say, I don't think so. For the challenge I want to give you is the do 100 pictures you care about before you die challenge. Like, just focus on that. Just concentrate on that.
challenge accepted. Holy.
Is what I think that's probably.
Why do you put that out there? Make it an official thing. For real, like I would do that. Like, okay, maybe not 100, but like 10.
That'd be, maybe you'd have to do like, well, you'd have to time limit it. That's the problem. You'd have to do like, do one picture you really care about before the year ends or something like that. Because, it's so easy to go a whole year and you don't put anything in your portfolio. You ever notice that?
Yeah, of course.
It happens all the time. And once the years go on, it's just like, it's just more and more common that that's going to happen.
Here's the implication though. I just said, oh, maybe 10. And then that implies that everything else won't mean anything to me. Then it's like, wait, why? Why not just only do the things that mean something to you?
Yeah.
That's what you're getting at. Okay.
Yeah. I think I say 100 when I say that on stream usually, because it seems so high. It's like if you're really going for the ones that you're like, I care about this. If you look at a lot of famous artists' total body of work, it's like you remember them for like 10 maybe, even if they did hundreds of pieces. So I think even for you yourself, if you're going for 100 that you really care about, that's really like, that's asking you to it's a long-term full life scope. Like, is it even possible? So you really just do your best,
It's a multi-part challenge too. It's one thing to create it and put in the time. And the scariest part that I'd resist is sharing it. It's like I mean, I've told the story before, but last time I shared something I cared about, I was like 12 or 13. I drew this goblin or demon from the World of Warcraft manual. And I was so proud of it, and I was so excited. And then when I went outside to show my neighbor, because he was in the yard, he like took it, and he smiled, and he crumpled it up and threw it. And he ran faster than me, so I tried to chase him, and I started chasing, and I didn't see where he went. He was hiding behind the wall, and he ran again. And so that traumatized me to never share anything I cared about ever again.
I mean, it's little kid stuff, but
Yeah,
it is traumatic. It is traumatic.
It's crazy.
It's a quintessential dick move. I mean, for real.
Oh, let me tell you, I haven't talked about this yet since I'm on that topic of that guy. I grew up thinking I was absolutely hideous, ugly, overweight, fat, just repulsive. People look at me, they think I'm a taxi driver or something. You know, the worst catastrophized insecurities, right? That kid, the same kid who crumpled up my paper, was the reason. He would bully me all the time, like call me ugly, call me, like he'd say things that he knew would annoy me. And he'd literally like throw a ball at me, and when I'm trying to just have fun, he would always like hit me in the. I'm like, why is he so mean? And I start to believe these things, right? And then I realized only recently as to why he did those things, because later in like I was like 10 or maybe 12 or 13, he came to my door in a way that I haven't seen him before. Like he was kind of just like a bit more vulnerable, and he asked me to be with the guy, be with him. Yeah. He was like, will you be gay with me? And I was like, huh? It was so shocking and out
Were
of
those
nowhere.
his words? Did he say, will you be
Literally,
gay?
yes, for word.
Wow, the awkwardness of youth. My God.
I just had no idea what that even like entailed. And I'm like, what do you, and then he saw that I was like, huh? He's like, never mind, I hate you. And he ran. And so all the bullying, it's like, you know, when you let you like a girl or a girl likes you and they just make fun of you because they don't know.
Yeah.
That's what this kid was doing. And I was like, oh wait, I thought I was actually ugly. No, it's because this kid didn't know what to do with the information that was happening in his whole situation.
It's so classic. No, as soon as you mentioned like him throwing the ball at you, I was like, I see where this is going.
Oh,
I know
you really?
I did. God. Yeah. That was the first place my head went. I was like, yeah, he liked med. That makes a lot of sense.
Know.
I hadn't heard those other details before. So,
He's married to some chick now, but I don't know what the hell what happened there. But
well, you know, I mean, there's all sorts of configurations.
Some people are bi, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways that can all be above board for sure.
So you picked up on that. That's interesting. I just thought I was like that somebody out there hates me for no reason, you know.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's still, it's definitely not the coolest way to manifest your emotions, you know. But in the bigger context, it's like, and it shows the awkwardness, even the way he worded it, just coming up to you and then saying, "Will you be gay with me?" Like, man, life's hard. Life is complicated, right? Like, oh God, you think about him crumpling up your pencil, and that's probably one of those memories for him that is like one of those cringe, awkward memories you get as you're trying to fall asleep. He remembers going up to your door and saying that, and he's just like, oh, God. Why the fuck did I do that?
If it was awkward and cringe, I'm okay with that. It is what it is. We're all cringe, you know.
Yeah, it's just that's hindsight, you know. We all look back at. I mean, we're all just so disappointed with who we were even 2 years ago, right?
Oh,
we're just like,
try yesterday.
It sucks. It's so funny. It's so funny. Maybe, but hopefully those are signs of growth, right?
Oh, a very uncomfortable growth, but it's
very
growth.
Painful, molting, like a worm, some would say.
Oh,
and
yeah?
I think that we've arrived at why Heidi Klum picked that costume. The molting of the worm is symbolic of how we grow year after year and become ever more reticulated, ever more gelatinous. We wriggle and writhe in an ever more beautiful fashion. And sure, maybe we're just a simple tube with a mouth and an anus, the most simple design, but still within that very simple framework, there is the ability to wiggle through the dirt and eat shit and to sublimate and transmute that shit into new discoveries about ourselves and our worm friends. And when we lay our little worm head to rest on our little worm pillow every night, and those cringy thoughts flow through our very tiny brain, they're a sign that good things are happening. And that very soon we will realize the beautiful Heidi Klum within all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's probably as good a spot as anywhere to end.
To end with the beginning?
The first and only episode of the A to Z podcast.
Yeah. Well, it sucks it's the last episode.
Yeah, but
we could try to do something else.
It'd be a different podcast.
Yeah, it wouldn't be A to Z.
No, it'd be the first and only episode of a different podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a different name and everything. And
Dude, imagine renaming the podcast every single time.
It's a different RSS feed every time. It's a completely different podcast.
No one's ever done it before. The only through line is the same people.
It's the only through line. People would discover one episode and they'd be like, I love this show. And then they'll be like, they never did another one. And then years later, they'd find out there's 600 of these. They're all different podcasts.
600 different podcasts. What a big joke. That'd be great.
That'd be awesome. We're doing it. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
All right, Med, say goodbye to everybody.
Hey, yeah, thanks for watching and listening to our ramblings and
all right,
tangents.
I think that's
great.
enough. I think they've had enough.
Go ahead.